What's up, guys? Welcome to my video. Today, in this video, I'm going to talk about if Jesus is God, why is he called God's only begotten Son? So the Bible refers to people being begotten as in like them being born. So Jehovah's Witnesses will say, see, this is proof that Jesus was born, that God created Jesus. So when we look at this word, the Greek word right here for only begotten is monogenes. And when you Google this, and the AI literally pulls up, it says the Greek word monogenes has multiple meanings, including one of a kind, unique, only begotten, or only born. So let me start off by saying, and I've explained this in my video about the firstborn, why is Jesus called firstborn, but Jesus has two natures. He has a divine nature and a human nature, and this is where all the confusion comes in. And Jehovah's Witnesses do not see this distinction right here. So Jesus of Nazareth did not exist until 2,000 years ago. He was born 2,000 years ago from his mother Mary. So Jesus was begotten. The human Jesus of Nazareth was begotten. The spirit that incarnated into that human body is not known as Jesus. Jesus, the identity Jesus of Nazareth did not exist until 2,000 years ago, and he was a human being. Hebrews says that he had to be made like us, fully human in every way. Jesus was a human being, fully human. He was not half God, half human. He was fully human, but he had a divine spirit that inhabited that fully human body. So Jesus was begotten, Jesus of Nazareth, 2,000 years ago. It says that in Matthew chapter 1, you will give birth to a son and you will name him Jesus. So Jesus was begotten, but that's not what only begotten means right here. Now I want you to look. Let's look in Hebrews chapter 11, verses 17 through 18, and I'm going to show you that Abraham referred to his Isaac as his only begotten son. Let's look. It says, by faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So right here is referring to Isaac is Abraham's only begotten son, monogenes. But Isaac was not Abraham's only son. Actually, Ishmael was born before Isaac was. And Abraham also had other sons with another wife. When we look in Genesis chapter 25, verse 1 through 2, it says, Abraham had taken another wife whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Kokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. So Abraham had more than one son, but in Hebrews 11 it refers to Isaac as his only begotten son. What it means is his unique and one of a kind son, in that, and through Isaac, he received the promises of God. Isaac was unique from his other sons in that through him and through his line would come David and the Messiah and all that. Isaac was unique from his other sons and in God's plan. So we see, you know, it's in John 3:16 that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So let's, you know, in modern translations translate that unique or one and or not unique, but one and only. God gave his one and only son, because that's more of an accurate translation, because only begotten can be confusing. But let's go to Hebrews chapter 1, verse 4 through 5, and let's see where it's talking about this. It says, so he became as much superior to the angels as the name he has inherited is superior to theirs. For to which of the angels did God ever say, you are my son, today I have become your father? Or again, I will be his father and he will be my son. Notice the end right there where it says, I will be his father and he will be my son. It's talking about in a future tense. And it says, to which of the angels did God ever say, I will be his father or he will be my son? So it's already assuming that the angels is existing, and that's something that God would be able to say. But God did not say that to them, but they were already in existence. It doesn't really make much sense. But when you go to Psalm chapter 2, right there is quoting from the Old Testament. It's quoting from Psalm chapter 2. Let's go to Psalm chapter 2, verse 6 through 9. It says, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. I will proclaim the Lord's decree. He said to me, you are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. You will break them with a rod of iron. You will dash them to pieces like pottery. And in verse 12 it says, kiss his son, or he will become angry, and your way will lead to destruction. So this is the Father. This is like a prophecy. It says the Father talking about installing his king on Zion, which is Jesus. And he says, today you are my son. I have become your father. Ask me. So notice right here in verse 8 it says, ask me and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. So in verse 8 he's already assuming that nations and people already exist on earth. So it would be kind of strange for him to say, you are my son, today I have become your father. If the nations already and people already exist on earth, that wouldn't make any sense. That would be like saying that the world already existed and he just created Jesus and he says, you are my son, today I have become your father. Ask me and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. No, but what they believe is that Jehovah created Jesus first and then Jesus created everything else. That doesn't make any sense to say, you are my son, today I have become your father. And then to talk about the nations, ask me and I'll give you the nations, like the nations already exist. And the ends of the earth, like your possession, like the earth already exists. That doesn't make any sense if you look at it from their view of Jesus being created. So what it's saying here, and it makes it clear what this means. Clearly it's not talking about Jesus being created and in the same day, the nations already existing and the earth already existing. You could look at it like Jesus becoming his father. You could look at it like through when he was born through Mary. When Jesus of Nazareth it came into existence on this earth. You could look at it like that God could say, today you are my son, today I have become your father. You could look at it like when Jesus was born as a human being 2,000 years ago. But even that is not what it's talking about. If you go to Acts chapter 13, verses 32 through 34, it tells you what Psalms 2 means. We tell you the good news, what God promised our ancestors, he has fulfilled for us, their children, by raising up Jesus. As it is written in the second psalm, you are my son, today I have become your father. God raised him up from the dead so that he will never be subject to decay. As God has said, I will give you the holy and sure blessings promised to David. So what does Psalm 2 mean when he's talking about you are my son, today I have become your father? Ask me and I will make the nations your inheritance and the ends of the earth your possession? It goes back to like Philippians 2. Where Jesus said, so in Hebrews it says that Jesus made himself a little lower than the angels, that he came here, and then in Philippians 2 it talks about it talks about Jesus being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking on the nature of a servant. So when he came to this earth, he humbled himself and took on the nature of a servant, temporarily gave up his authority as God, and took on the nature of a servant. He said he didn't come to be served, but to serve others. But when he was resurrected, God exalted him above every other name, like it says in Philippians. And so in Acts 13, it says, God has promised, what God has promised, he has fulfilled. That means that he has fulfilled prophecy by raising up Jesus. As it is written in the 2nd Psalm, you are my son, today I have become your father. God raised him from the dead so that he will never be. So what it's talking about when he says, you are my son, today I have become your father, it was fulfilled when God raised him from the dead. His resurrection is what this is talking about. This is what Psalm 2 is talking about when it says, you are my son, today I have become your father. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possession. When Jesus was resurrected, God exalted him, gave him a name that was above every other name, and that every knee on earth shall bow, and every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord. That's what it means when it says Jesus is God's only begotten Son. It doesn't mean that Jehovah created Jesus back before the world began. That doesn't what it mean when it says only begotten. When it says only begotten, it's talking about his resurrection, and that his resurrection fulfilled the prophecy of Psalm chapter 2, and it explains that very clearly in Acts chapter 13. Thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for more videos to come.